Hello and welcome to the SUNY Oneonta Student Association's 2018 to 2019 Executive Board Platform Special. My name is Donglei Lee and I'm the current president of the Student Association. Today we will be hearing from our candidates for each of the 5 e-board positions of the Student Association. Therefore, each candidate will be given 2 minutes for opening remarks and 2 minutes for each question. There will be 3 questions each and there will be 1 minute for the candidate's closing remarks. Our first candidate to speak is for the Vice President of Central Affairs. We have 1 candidate for this position, and it is Samantha Palermo. Candidate Palermo, you have 2 minutes for opening remarks.
My name is Samantha Palermo, and I'm running for VP of Central Affairs for your Student Association. So I started out here as a senator, and halfway through the semester, I became Chief of Staff to our President, Donglei Lee. So I've had a lot of experience in SA. I've been dealing with different stakeholders like faculty, staff, and administration, serving on committees such as the Dean for the Liberal Arts Search Committee, College Senate, and the OAS Board of Directors. So I am definitely no stranger to outreach and just dealing with different groups on campus.
Thank you, Candidate Palermo. As Vice President of Central Affairs, you will work a lot with the clubs on campus. Please explain the impact of student organizations on this campus and how your office can assist them.
I think the impact of student organizations on this campus is huge. I think it's really where people really find their home when they get here as freshmen. I started out in the political science club, and I made a lot of amazing friends, and we were all able to go to DC at the end of the year. Funded by the Student Association. So what we can really do for clubs and organizations on campus is I'll be editing their constitutions, approving their events, assisting them, with anything they need for events they're putting on, and I'm also going to be revitalizing the club representative program. So what that is assigning a senator to 1 or 2 clubs. And it didn't work out so well last semester. According to our Student Association strategic plan, which I helped work on, I'm going to be trying to increase engagement of senators in the first place.
Thank you. Second, the Vice President of Central Affairs has a lot of work from day to day, including emails, editing constitutions, and keeping up with Campus Connection. How will you balance these duties while still being an advocate for the students of SUNY Oneonta?
So this is a great question. I already do a lot of this work, answering emails, keeping up with Campus Connection, for my own purposes, for Lee credit, and, getting my schoolwork done. Just balancing all these things while still being an advocate for SUNY Oneonta students myself. So that's something I'm no stranger to. I'm somebody with, an invisible disability, and, what I do is I always make time for myself, so I don't get all this stuff done, at the expense of my health and well-being. I will definitely do a great job balancing all this.
Thank you. For our third and final question, the Student Association has had increasing issues with outreach and communication. Do you have any ideas to change this?
So another way I plan to increase outreach and communication is by, inviting clubs and organizations to our meetings, to be a part of the floor, even when they're not coming to us for van requests or funding requests or constitution changes. So what that'll do is it'll give them a chance to really see how we run our meetings, and it'll make them a little bit less intimidated when they come to us for those requests. We do have PTA meetings where presidents and treasurers come and hear about all the procedural stuff, but they don't actually get to see how a meeting is run.
Thank you. You now have 1 minute for the final remarks.
So my name is Sam Palermo. I'm running for VP of Central Affairs. I'm really hoping you vote for me just because I really do plan to increase outreach and communication, and I am extremely qualified.
Thank you, Candidate Palermo. Now we will take a short break.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
The It's On Us pledge is a personal commitment to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
It is a promise to not be a bystander to the problem,
but to be a part of the solution.
As a SUNY Oneonta student athlete, I am proud to take the pledge.
I pledge
to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
I promise
Not to be a bystander to the problem,
but a part of the solution.
I pledge to recognize
that non-consensual sex is sexual assault.
to identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
to intervene
in situations where consent cannot or has not been given.
to create an environment
in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
Join us and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I pledge to help stop sexual assault.
Welcome back to the Student Association's 2018 to 2019 Platform Special. Next up, we have Sam Sundeck running for the position of VP of Communications. Candidate Sundeck, you may begin with your opening remarks.
I just want to thank President Lee for this opportunity, for encouraging me to run. I'd also like to thank the entire Student Association for their encouragement throughout this campaign so far. I look very forward to what I can do with the position, and I promise I will not let anyone down.
For your first question, what do you see as the primary role as the VP of Communications in the SA?
Well, I feel like the primary role of the VP of Communications is acting as the window between the Senate and the student body. Not only am I responsible for capturing the activities and the accomplishments of both the faculty and the students on campus, but I'm responsible for letting them know what we do here in the Senate. And I think through social media, I can, help get the Senate all of our accomplishments out there for the student body to, observe.
Your next question is to please explain some initiatives you have in mind to help brand the Student Association.
Well, first off, I think that we should start a Snapchat page strictly for the Student Association, getting everything that's on campus recognized for the student body and the faculty. I think more tabling efforts should be in practice. Given our dwindling numbers in Senate, maybe an ad hoc recruitment committee would be something that, the Senate it'd be good to have.
And lastly, what experience do you have in communications, public relations, and also marketing that you can bring to this position?
Well, I'm a communications major, so I have extensive coursework in both communications and business classes, which includes public relations and marketing. In addition, I was the vice president of my fraternity, so I dealt with a variety of committees. And my focus with the committees was our social media presence on campus, as well as task allocation amongst the committees.
Thank you, Candidate Sundeck. You may now state your closing remarks.
Again, President Lee, I'd like to thank you for your encouragement with having me run. I promise I will not let anyone down with the duties of this position. I will perform to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
Next, we have Gino Dorsgano running for the position of the Vice President of Finance. You may begin with your opening remarks.
Hi, I would just like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Gino Dorsano. I'm a sophomore here at SUNY Oneonta, and for the last year or so, I've been working closely with the current Vice President of Finance, Chelsea Deckert, on her finance board, as well as attending personal shadowing hours with her. I've learned a lot about the position, and I truthfully feel like I would be the best candidate for this position. Thank you.
Now for our question, Candidate Dorsano, each club has various lines within their club budgets. Please name and describe each of these lines.
Sure thing. Well, first off, we have the conference line, which is money allocated specifically for off-campus conferences. There's the event line, which is money specifically for events held on campus or in Oneonta or the surrounding area. We have the media line for any publications or any licensing for any kind of media or anything like that. There's the personnel line for any money to go towards any employees or any stipends or anything of that nature. There's the travel line for any events off campus that would require to actually travel to them, not anything in the surrounding county. There is the office line for any money to go towards any office supplies such as pens, paper, anything of that nature. And then each individual club has personal accounts for them, such as an X account or a revenue account.
Thank you. Secondly, what is the difference between a funding request and a purchase request?
Well, a funding request is a request given by a club for extra funds from an account that they have not been allocated to. For example, the Special Allocations Fund or the Special Equipment Fund. For example, a club might need any kind of equipment for a sporting event. They would ask us for that money, and then Senate would vote on it. And then the purchase request is any money allocated into their individual budget. For example, a club will ask for maybe $150 from the conference line. We'll vote on it, and they'll get it.
Thank you. For our last question, if elected as the next VP of Finance, how can you ensure transparency about our policies and procedures between yourself and all clubs and organizations on campus?
Well, first off, I would like to have very, very clear and very, very simple PTA meetings with every club on campus in order to ensure that everybody understands what they need to do in order to get their money. I want to make sure that I personally understand the policy book front to back, and I also would like to make sure that I am available 24/7 for any club, whether through email or through my own individual office hours.
Thank you, candidate Dorsano. Do you have any final remarks?
I would just like to thank SA for the opportunity to run for this position, and I would also like to remind everybody to vote for me and Gino Dorsano as their VP of Finance. Thank you.
Thank you. Running for Executive Vice President is Timothy Nolan. Candidate Nolan, please state your opening remarks.
Hi, my name is Tim Nolan. I joined the Student Association last year, and since then I've had the pleasure of serving as the Student Association's Attorney General and the Chair of Campus Operations.
Thank you. My first question for you is to please outline what you believe the responsibilities of this office include, along with an understanding of the policies.
Well, first off, the responsibilities of the Executive Vice President include chairing the Senate meetings, handling the transportation program, and chairing the scholarship committee.
Thank you. Secondly, as Executive Vice President, you will be chairing the Senate meetings every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Explain your knowledge of Robert's rules, and then explain how will you promote professionalism within the Senate body.
I've had experience using Robert's rules over the last 2 years, and I feel I'm very fluent in them. And I believe that professionalism within the Senate meetings is very important, and I like to promote that with efficiency and upholding the general policies.
The last question will be, how do you plan to recruit and retain a diverse and full Senate body?
I believe that it's very important to get kids started, as soon as they get to school. So I'd like to promote Senate opportunities in the freshman year dorms, because I believe that when people join their freshman year, they can gain experience and become very valuable assets to the Student Association.
Thank you, Candidate Nolan. Please state your closing remarks.
Thank you, Donglei. I'd just like to thank you, especially for encouraging me to run, and I do the job to the best of my abilities.
When we come back, we will have our final debate with our candidates for the position of President of the Student Association.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
The It's On Us pledge is a personal commitment to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
It is a promise
to not be a bystander to the problem,
but to be a part of the solution.
As a SUNY Oneonta student athlete, I am proud to take the pledge. I pledge
to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
I promise
not to be a bystander to the problem,
but a part of the solution.
I pledge to recognize
that non-consensual sex is sexual assault.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To intervene
in situations where consent cannot or has not been given.
To create an environment
in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
Join us and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I pledge to help stop sexual assault.
Welcome back to the Student Association's 2018 to 2019 Platform Special. We are here with our presidential candidates, Valerie Conforti, Tanya Pak, and Imran Suhail. Candidate Conforti, please tell us your opening remarks.
Hi, my name is Valerie Conforti, and I am very excited to be running for the Student Association President for the 2018-2019 school year. I've joined the Student Association Senate when I was a sophomore, and as this past current year, I've been serving as the Vice President of Central Affairs. Through this position, I've had the opportunity to interact with a lot of the student leaders on campus, helping them run club events, club activities, and starting new clubs. Through these interactions, it's become the fuel for me to run for president. In this role, I feel I can serve the campus in 3 ways. The first way is providing more organization and communication within the organization and improving outreach to the entire campus, which we've had struggles with during this current year. The second is probably the most important, is communicating with students on campus and mostly marginalized students as well to create initiatives and that are relevant to our campus as well as our current national climate. And thirdly, to implement these implement these initiatives using my connections with administration, faculty, and staff to help further the student voice.
Now, candidate Pag, you have time for your opening remarks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tane Peg, and the reason that I'm standing before you today is because I'm running for the position of Student Association President. If elected, I would vow to fulfill my duties to the best of my ability. I would be highly approachable and highly receptive to the ideas of every single student of SUNY Oneonta. With that being said, I believe that my past qualifications and prior credentials make me more than qualified for this position. I have been on Senate since my freshman year here and currently hold the position of Chair of Academic Affairs. I have also served on Finance Board for 2 years, which, for those of you who don't know, Finance Board is a committee made up of 6 members which is responsible for dividing and allocating the $1.3 million budget which is designated for all of the clubs here at SUNY Oneonta. I also served as my fraternity's president for a full year's term, and during that term I led my chapter to win Interfraternity Council Chapter of the Year. During my time as president, I oversaw an e-board of 9 other positions, as well as several committee chairmen. And I believe that my leadership capabilities and knowledge of the student association will make me a very qualified candidate to be president.
Candidate Suhail, please state your opening remarks.
Thank you. I'd like to say special thanks to Tyler Kimball, Don Lee, and everybody who's been helping me while I've been in D.C. My name is Imran Suhail, and I'm running for president of Oneonta Student Association. I'm a small franchise business owner, currently interning at Congress, a 2-time student government president in my past college, a 2-time SUNY USA representative, and a former student association senator for Oneonta. I worked successfully on education reforms and safety reforms, and I feel both of those are prevalent for our campus today. And I'm here to help motivate other students to get them to participate as well in our organization.
Now, my first question is, most people perceive the Student Association's sole purpose as supervising and funding clubs on campus. What do you feel are its other major responsibilities, and how do you plan on bringing that to the forefront and attention to the students who otherwise are not aware of the Student Association's existence? Candidate Conforti.
Well, that's a big problem we've been having is a lot of students only think that we provide funding for clubs and activities, but the Student Association is really a vessel for improvement on our campus. We're a student voice. We're supposed to be the ones who are enacting initiatives based on what students are looking for on our campus. Currently, I've been working with some of the multicultural Greek organizations and divine leaders as well as SCC to help further the marginalized groups on campus, stuff like that. Using resources, working with the VP of Communications and the Executive Vice President as well as the rest of the e-board, we can do tabling exercises and other things to help further the Student Association voice and get, and with club visits as well to help get what the students want, and we can put forth those initiatives.
Candidate Pag.
Thank you. I believe that in addition to advocating for and allocating resources for all of the clubs at SUNY Oneonta, the primary responsibility of the Student Association is representation. It is to hear and meet the needs of all of the students of this campus, and I believe that as a leader of the Student Association, as president of the Student Association, I could best do this. I don't care if you are a member of an athletic team, a member of a Greek organization, a member of any club or organization, a part of a marginalized group on campus, or any student on this campus. I feel that I could best represent your needs to this campus and to the faculty and administration. I would work tirelessly to meet your needs, and I would work tirelessly to make sure that any issue that you felt passionate about on this campus was met with proficiency and professionalism.
Candidate Suhail.
Well, I believe the big part of that will be communication. We need to speak to our students, and we need to do more than just keep the door open. Just like Peg said, I actually agree with him. It's time that we actually go out and listen. And part of that I would say is that we're going to have to start taking our feet and going out there and going to them, speaking to them. Everyone's different. All of them have different beliefs and reasons, and we have to communicate with them, relate with them, so they can understand who we are, and we're here to represent them, not just on a campus scale, not just in a community scale, the city scale, but also at the state scale, and also even at a national level if need be.
Next, you will have a lot of interaction with faculty, staff, and administration in the role as president. How is your ability to communicate between those individuals and students? Candidate Conforti.
As I said, in this past year, I have been interacting with a lot of the student leaders on campus, getting a lot of their ideas for things that we can do with SUNY Oneonta in the future. So that being said, I've also served as a member on multiple committees. Most important is the Dean of Sciences Search Committee. So I've been interacting with a lot of different faculty on campus, a lot of chairs, a lot of the administration in this process, and I feel as though my skills in this area can really come through as serving on multiple committees that the president will to communicate the needs of the students and push the student association agenda.
Candidate Pag.
One thing that I pride myself on is being a sociable and approachable person that always conducts himself in a well-mannered regard. And I believe that I could carry these qualities into the position of Student Association President. I believe that I could represent the students to the faculty and the administration better than anyone else. I feel that my past experience being president of my fraternity, when I had to be the liaison between my organization and its national headquarters, as well as the school administration and the Inter-Greek Council, I believe that that experience working in a professional manner with professionals and administrators makes me very qualified for this. And I believe that I could very well represent the students to the faculty and administration on this campus.
Candidate Suhail.
Well, we got to get the students to believe in us, and once they believe in us, we got to get the staff to believe in us and the administration too, in order to make change happen. And in order to do that, we got to go and communicate and be upfront with them. And I believe with a shared government we have in Oneonta, that it's already there, that we just have to get the students on our side so they'll be able to listen to more of our voices.
Now, for our last question of the evening, what makes you the ideal candidate for the president of the Student Association? Candidate Conforti.
I feel as though my past experiences on the executive board for the Student Association has prepared me in ways that I haven't seen before. I've been shadowing Dong Lei for a few weeks now, and as well as speaking with all these different student leaders. I've been going around to different clubs, hopefully getting a little bit of a light of what they would like to see from us. I'm very approachable. I participate in a lot of different activities on campus, and I really feel as though I could take my skills to the next level if I become the Student Association president for the following year.
Candidate Pag.
I'm glad you asked that question. There are many reasons why I feel that I'm the best candidate for this position. I believe that a combination of my past credentials, my uncanny ability to get things done, my professionalism and manner that I handle things, but most of all, I believe that I am the most qualified person for this position because I love Oneonta and I want to advocate for the students. I want to be receptive to all of their needs. One idea that I have in particular is that I want to designate a portion of my office hours each week to having individual students come in and tell me ideas that they have that they think could make this campus better. I also want to launch an online forum on Blackboard, for example, in which students can post ideas that they think are important on this campus, and I will work tirelessly to get those done.
Candidate Suhail.
Well, I'm experienced, successful, and I'm driven to make change. I've sat on over 10 committees while I was president for the New York State for SUNY and also for my college. I've won 2 times. I was 2 times student government president, 2 times representative. I made 2 changes in New York State. I like the idea that I don't just have office hours. As I was president before, I never had office hours. You can just come up to me and see me. Cell phone was available, email was available. And I like the idea that they can walk up and come to us. Office hours is great, but that doesn't work for everybody, I feel. And that was something I noticed when we had, when I was there last semester, when I was experiencing our organization for the first time. And I would like to say that I think that I have what it takes to make the change that we want to see. And I feel we could do it with the great board that we have coming forward.
Thank you. You each have 1 minute to say your closing remarks. Candidate Conforti.
I hope I've demonstrated my proficiency in this position and my prior credentials as well to become the best president I can be next year. Being in the only candidate running that has already been part of the executive board, being closely associated with a lot of Donglei Lee's activities, and just generally working with a lot of students on campus this year, I really feel as though it's prepared me for this position. I feel like working with administration and students is where I belong, and I think that I could really be a great president next year.
Candidate Peg.
First and foremost, I would just like to thank everyone for tuning into this debate. With that being said, I think that coming to SUNY Oneonta was the best decision that I ever made. From the moment that I walked through those pillars on my very first day here, to standing right here, right now, running for Student Association President, I can in all honesty say that I could not have possibly had a better college experience. And I want every student that graduates from this school to be able to say the same exact thing. I want every student that attends this school to have the same pride for this college that I do. And I want every student on this campus to have a voice that is heard. So vote for me, Tane Peg, and let your voice be heard. Thank you very much.
Candidate Suhail.
I like to say I have experience, I'm successful, and I am driven to change. I listened to both the candidates. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see the next semester. Honestly, I think you both are great. And I would like to say that, I really don't mind about the win or lose in this outcome. The idea is that we got people standing up. And we're all very motivated here to see others join in. And the idea is, even though we've seen some diversity issues, we have Title IX issues, we have homelessness issues, food scarcity. I feel that, with this team, with these people sitting here right now, we'll be able to figure it out. Having me as your leader, though, the only reason I would say is because my resume speaks for itself. I have my own business. I'm interning at Congress, 2 times president, passed 2 things in New York State. I've sat over 10 committees. I co-chaired the diversity committee for SUNY, and I was also vice chair for the safety committee for SUNY. It's very I feel speaks for itself. Why I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Best of luck to all 3 of you. This concludes our SUNY Oneonta Student Association's 2018 to 2019 Executive Board Platform Special. Please remember to sign on to Campus Connection between Thursday, April 5th at 8 a.m. and Friday, April 6th at 4:30 p.m. to vote for our new Executive Board members. I'd like to thank Wire TV for assisting us in the special broadcasting and also our current VP of Central Affairs, Chelsea Deckers, for coordinating this event. My name is Donglei Lee, and on behalf of the Student Association, thanks for tuning in, and then please remember to vote. Have a great night.